Now, you personally, where did you grow up?
I grew up on the east side.
What does the cross on your forehead signify?
I don't fucking know. I mean, bang, 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 bang. And we were supposed to get it right there, in between your finger and my collarbone.
Being involved in the type of shit you were involved in, like, what do you think was what was the most serious thing you ever went through?
And then the shit just spread it out, and then,
Shit, and it started to move around. You heard it.
You have a song with Drake, Sneakin'. He gifted you a pair of these OVO 12s.
Yeah.
What was it like getting those? And I'm sure you didn't ask for them, he just sent them.
These ugly as hell. Shout out to Jersey.
All right, we're live, big dog.
This is it, huh?
This is it.
Greetings. Good to communicate once again with everybody out there. I really appreciate you viewing the last little interview that my friend Eric put together. I asked Eric because I had more things to say. That's why we're doing this thing again. And what I wanted to relay to you, and I think first off, is as you see, I have a pound of hamburger in my hand. Actually, it was a pound to begin with, but now it's less. But I just hit on this today. What a better way to eat is you just kind of pick it up with your hands and just chew on it, and then you just put it aside. I set it on this glass jar so it's not contaminated with too much stuff, and I'll come back to it later. But I don't have a spoon. I have no cleanup whatsoever. Anyways, I thought it was kind of interesting. One other thing on meat, like eating like this. Well, a reference that Aajonus said was that you should eat your meat like a dog, and what that sounds, whatever. But anyways, in other words, you just gulp it down. Don't chew it, because when you chew, it actually releases an enzyme or some juice that actually for carbohydrates, and it interrupts the digestion of the meat. So you don't. It kind of slows the whole process down. And if you just gulp it down, then it goes straight to the stomach and it gets the hydrochloric acid that breaks it down immediately. So anyways, that was just a tip that I just learned just within the last month. So now I just kind of like, I don't eat I don't live to eat. I don't live for the taste of the food and everything else like that. I'm actually just eating to live, all right? And so I find that I don't really miss the flavor. Anyways, that's just kind of something that I just picked up on just recently. I have two here emails that Aajonus sent to another one of our members that I feel that they're really important, and I think that it'd be really worthwhile for me to read it to everybody. So the first one, it says, fats are the main nutrient needed in a toxic world. And we are living in a very, very toxic world. The reason for this is the body looks for fat to bind with poisons. Whatever fat is found in the body will store its toxins. So if you're skinny, the body is going to find those fats inside cells instead of outside cells. So it's going to damage the cells. And if you're thin, it's going to look for it in two places where everybody has a lot of fat. This is really good. In the brain, nervous system, and in the bone marrow. Okay, so it's something that really is one should keep a good attention on. It says the brain is very important, and the bone marrow is where the red and white blood cells divide and mature. Once they mature, they enter the bloodstream. So your possible energy will be depleted by toxicity stored in the main bone marrow. You do need excess fat. A thin person is not a strong person and is not a protected person. Just to give you an idea, about 10 years ago, someone came to me who was only about 18 to 20 pounds overweight. and I did his irises. His skin looked like it had years of drugs, very thick, very callous, very pockmarked, and the body throws 90% of its toxins out the skin normally. If you have waxy plastic fats from oils that you consume, it will block that, and your skin will not discharge it, and then it will stay in the body. So even bad fat will protect you. So and through his eyes, this person that he's talking about, the inside of his body looked like he was about 28 to 30 years old, yet he was in his mid-50s. So I said, are you from this planet? I said, I can see you've done some drugs and alcohol for at least 25 years, and he said 30. And I said his skin had this kind of makeup inside. Nobody could get over this much damage without being tremendously fat. He said, oh, 3 months ago, before I went on your diet, I was 300 pounds. So he took off 120 pounds, so even bad fat will protect you. With no fat, the poisons are going straight into the cells, looking for the fat in the brain and the bone marrow. Okay, so that's basically body fat protects you from toxicity. And we are in a very, very toxic world, to say the least. And they're upping the ante all the time. The other one that I want to talk about is, this is clay. And this is in an email. Aajonus says, how can we replace minerals robbed from the bones? How can we provide enough minerals to bind and neutralize those toxins with and without fats in the body? Clay, cheese with honey, milk. Those are your main substances of concentrated minerals. The clay I recommend is Terramin clay. I like the clay because it is from an old thermal water bed table. So the water never got over 98 degrees where they mine it. Phosphorus is cauterized at 98 degrees. Terramin clay is the only place except in fresh raw foods where you can find phosphorus. Phosphorus is cauterized at a very low temperatures, 98 degrees. So in this clay, the phosphorus is pure and uncauterized and unadulterated. And the way you make the Terramin clay, you can make it in a way to be probiotic, to help you generate bacteria in your intestines. So you take a 2-cup jar and put a cup of clay in it. You put 1 and 1/4 cup water. Okay, so anyways, 5 to 8 ounces is enough water. So okay, so anyways, this is the formula. So you take this cup of clay and you just start adding water to it. You stir it in the water till it thins out the clay and you get a plaster of Paris consistency. You let it sit for 4 or 5 days. The bacteria evolves very nicely. Clay is the only element on this planet that can shape shift. Really important. It can go from a bacteria to an amoeba. It can take any kind of shape. It is like a stem cell in the body. That's why they say all life came out of primordial mush. Clay, wet clay. Flies can generate, any kind of creature can generate from clay. So you let it sit for 4 or 5 days and it starts being able to do good things for whatever environment it is in. Take a tablespoon of clay, sometimes 1.5 tablespoons to 4 ounces of milk, blend it only for 1 second. That particular clay makes milk taste slightly chocolate milk. Not bad, easy to drink. If you didn't like the slightly gritty taste in your mouth, then have another ounce or 2 of milk and rinse your mouth and then swallow. That will add minerals to your body to bind with poisons throughout the system. Also, adds probiotics into the intestines. And if your bacteria knowledge and the properties that only exist in that shape-shifting stem cell like clay, it is probably the only superfood I know of. Clay is the only superfood I know. You're not going to get much protein. You're not going to get much fat from the clay. It is introducing a life substance in your body that can create a whole new and healthier environment that may be just particular to your needs. It is the only food I know that can do it. And because of the mineral content in it, can bind, chelate with a lot of toxic minerals in your body and prevent them from doing damage to your system. So that's straight from Aajonus. And I those two particular references, I've kind of like taken in wholeheartedly. I have a little piece of hamburger there. I have my clay drink every morning. I should have brought the clay out so you could see, but I have a pint jar of just this primordial mush. And then as far as like fat, I'm all of a sudden supporting a stomach that I've never in my whole life had. But this basically the whole idea is that I'm going through whatever it takes to get myself to the level that I started from and then better. And that's that's kind of a follow-up of the message from last week. But I think it's really important that if you really want to enjoy life to its fullest, then you have to embrace these particular datums and apply them, and apply them exactly, and then you're going to start benefiting dramatically. Anyways, what do you have to say there, Eric?
You killed it.
It's like, I mean, with that, I think that's time for a which reminds me of something else. Eric wanted to do this. He wanted to suck an egg, and I let Eric do that. But one of the things that this is another Aajonus datum, because I mean I could suck this egg and I can put a hole here and a hole there and suck it out. But one of the things that Aajonus talked about was that egg whites will apply to your eyes, will improve your vision over time. So so that's basically what I do is I crack my eggs, and then I just have both sides of this, and I dip my finger into the to the empty shell, but there's always some residual white there, and then I put it into my eyes, and I've been doing that for about a year, like about once a day or something like that. And then there was another reference that I got from Aajonus, was basically on coconut cream, out from his materials, in other words. And in that particular thing, when he talked about the coconut cream, he just on the sides he says, and as far as like applying the improving your eyesight with the egg whites, you need to do that 3 or 4 times a day. So I couldn't, because I'd been doing once a day, and I go, my eyes aren't changing. Well, obviously we had to step that one up, but that was I mean, I found out just as you do it from a potluck that I was there and he said that, and now I get this additional data. So you have to pay attention to everything and reach out for everything you get, because when he said that, I said, geez, I've been spinning my wheels.
And you also sun gaze, right?
Yeah, that's sun gaze. Once again, we're talking about other modalities. What else are you involved in? Yeah, I got into sun gazing because that was back in the turn of the century.
Did Aajonus do it too?
I don't know. There's something he mentioned about it, but I only found out about sun gazing basically because I was looking up for more information on raw foods to see whatever sources I could find, and all of a sudden this thing came out as far as like some other raw food was like into sun gazing. So I said, what the hell is that? And I've been doing that for the last 15 years. And I find that, and then it makes total sense if you really, if you look about, evolution and things like that. it's the sun is the whole power source on this planet, and I know that like one of the things that is said is like is you can get actual energy yourself from the sun, and one of the things that was touted on it was it's an Ayurvedic modality, was that it can, by just doing the sun gazing, can actually heal the body. And it wasn't like I wasn't looking for something to heal my body, because I didn't feel like there was anything really wrong, but it couldn't hurt. I'll go with any avenue that's gonna it's going to promote better living. And I really enjoy it. I do it religiously every morning, and I got in touch with the person that is looked at the guru of sun gazing or whatever, and he'd actually been interviewed by NASA because he'd been able to sustain life for like 7 years without any solid food, and all he had maybe was like some tea every so often. And so I was able to get, NASA was interested mainly because for space travel, you can't carry a whole lot of food if you're going out there for how many light years or whatever. So it'd be really good if we could, get by without food. And that's another principle that you actually talk about people that can do that. So anyway, so I got in touch with them, and I told them how I was just doing my counting, because I was supposed to get up to 50 minutes a day, and I told him that I was worried because there'd be overcast days and stuff like that, and I was missing out. But I told him I was up to around 50 minutes, and he said, "You're doing fine." He said, "You can just don't worry about that. You've gotten to that point. You can just do 15 minutes when the sun is right and you feel like it." And so that's what I've been doing. But I do it when the sun's out. I'm out there, and that's just part of my life, and I enjoy it, to say the least.
What times do you do it at?
Well, the whole idea is you have to do it an hour after the sun rises or an hour before the sun sets. After that, you get into it can be detrimental to your vision. So that was the basic idea. And the best time I just love just being right as the sun just starts cresting the horizon, and that first spark, and then I'm off and running.
Morning coffee?
Yeah, God, this is when I wake up, I'm so alive. I don't need that artificial stimulus to.
I fucking miss it.
Oh God, I never really got into coffee. I remember once I got into coffee. We had a Mr. Coffee in the office. I gotta have all the coffee I want.
Mr. Coffee.
Yeah, I mean, it dates me now. But anyways, I just remember looking at my hand, and it was like this, and I went, "Holy shit, I can't do that." So I quit right at that particular point.
I'm just a junkie.
Well, yeah.
Enjoy being high on caffeine.
That's one of the things. It's like, to be high on natural substances. That's one of the things that just is not even really, given much thought.
Mm-hmm.
But how good, a glass, not a glass, just a slug of just raw milk, and what it tastes like, and you go, Jesus, it's a crime
Every time.
that we could enjoy something that's so good, and most people on this planet are totally oblivious to it.
Have you juiced weed yet?
No.
No?
Juice weed?
Yeah, Aajonus talks about it. You use the tars that are in the THC to break down tars that are in your lungs because they'll bind together. But he said you'll be high for a couple of days, which is what I'll be doing it for mostly. That, that way.
No, I know where your head's at.
I'm like, yeah, fool, you get high as fuck.
Well, no. Oh, that's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I never smoked that much weed.
No?
No. But I mean, he talks about tobacco, and I definitely did tobacco for enough. But my basic viewpoint is, like, you just keep eating all the right food, and you will detoxify everything. You get rid of everything. and it's a very pleasurable trip.
Yeah.
To just I mean, food is your best medicine, and but it's also it's a treat. I mean, this is great.
In a funny way, it's worth it giving up all the drugs, caffeine,
Uh,
all that shit.
It's funny because I thought about that because I love my drug days and everything else like that, and I'm like, God, when I look about it and looking at all the time I have to put into getting rid of that, it wasn't worth it. It just really wasn't. I mean, I don't, I wish I had this diet from the get-go, and then I could have bypassed all that without, it'd have been so no interest to me because I'd have been so healthy and doing so well. But there's something missing with the lifestyle that people are brought up in, and therefore they reach for the bottle of Smirnoff, or they smoke the joint, or and it's as a release. But who needs a release if you're just getting higher and higher, better and better,
Naturally.
just eating food.
I tried to drink tea for a while, and over a couple of weeks, you just notice it be detrimental. Because I just wanted to get the little bit of caffeine, so I could just get high off of it.
Yeah.
But you'll notice it affects you, which is pretty good. And
Well,
then
that's good that you're that clean that you pick stuff up like that.
Yeah.
You
Then it just ties back into Aajonus, how he talks about coffee and tea being a catalyst for diseases.
Yeah, I mean, this is anything that's going to compromise the body that you're in opens the door for disease,
Yeah.
just automatically. So anything that you eat that's cooked, which is like just totally life force destroyed. This is what I also wanted to say, but anything that's been altered from its natural state is going to cause the body's white blood cells to rise up to handle it, but you're all supposed to be moving forward rather than fighting little skirmishes every day,
Yeah.
But one of the things that I really felt really big about was the fact that when you're eating food, what you're actually doing, and this is all my own theory or whatever, is we talk about the sun, and the energy from the sun comes down here and animates and mobilizes plants and animals. And so you're getting that energy that they have in the plant from the sun, or the same energy or from there in the animals that makes them so they can move around and for the plants at least to extend to grow. And so what you want to do is you want to take the energy that gets that plant moving, growing, or the animal moving around. You would want to get that energy, which is straight from there, just straight into you. And then what you're doing is, it's like charging your own batteries. And you become more alive the more live food you eat. And believe me, cooking it kills it. Okay? Then it's just dead matter that you're dealing with. As if you're missing that life force, which is what you really want, to promote your life force, to make you that much more alive. How's that for a concept? Because really, that's just something that if you just keep getting in more live energy from your food, then what the hell say that you can't continue? Yeah. You just become more alive. I like that term. Anyways, I'm all for more alive.
Have you had anything that's freshly killed, still warm? Like meat, organs, anything like that?
Insects.
Insects?
I've had a few insects.
Like a fucking grasshopper?
I've had a few of those, yeah.
Like what kind? Like you picked up around here, or
No.
They snuck in your food?
No, well, I've had that happen. Yeah, well, if they get on my food, I'm sorry. I paid for that,
I'm gonna eat you too.
You're part of the menu now. No,
Yeah.
no, we didn't. Marilyn was actually the person that I work with in this group. She was raising some kind of insects, crickets and mealworms or whatever. And so the bug eaters, what was this? The bug eaters handbook. I got a copy of that. And so I remember just one day just chowing down on them. And I mean, I was reading some datum with regard to the planet, and it said, you know, like the amount of people that are eating bugs as like a main source of their protein is well over 50%, you know. So it's kind of like, I mean, we look in America and you go, you must be kidding me. But I mean, everything out there that's alive is live energy, and it will augment your energy level. So I'm trying to think. All I know is, you know, I talk about I've gotten milk straight from, you know, the goat, and that's really great. But as far as I can't think of any animals that I've consumed that were still pulsing.
No. Fish?
You know, but I think that, well, yeah, no, but I haven't. You know, I know that it was interesting. There was one of these reality shows or whatever. I don't know that much about TV and stuff, but this one guy that, you know, like goes to various different areas and finds out what they eat and things like that, and he was out on a boat with this you know, local fisherman, and one of the real delicacies that they love is they land these fish, and they cut them open and they have their liver
Right away.
just right there, and that was just, you know, I went, oh, now that's and I mean,
delicious.
and it was a little bit over the top for the guy, because that's, you know, I mean, he's, you know, all the cooked meals that he's running into around the world and stuff like that. But this is just like, let's just go for, you know, go for all the gusto right now, and just like, why let it, you know, die each second that it's not within the organism. Okay, it's starting to die. You know, so why do you want dead? You know, why don't you just chew on a rock? You know?
Turn into a plant.
Yeah, it's just anyways. But I just went, oh yeah, you know, that would be the way to go. You know, it's just to eat something just fresh from the kill. Oh, like Dances with the Wolves, right? When you take down a buffalo and it just cuts out that heart and just, you know.
I haven't seen
You haven't seen that one?
I don't watch movies.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, but that was the suit. That was a perfect setup. So, anyways,
How'd you get into this group, the Raw group? How'd you find out about it? How'd you become part of it?
this particular group, I just they were promoting a farm. They said, you know, like, actually they're trying to get money for somebody to buy this farm, this piece of land. But I just saw a farm and I went, oh, because that's something I can do. I said, well, you know, I showed up here. I talked to Marilyn, and I said, well, you know, I don't have any money. I never have any money, but I just said, I'll be your farmer. I'll run it.
Yeah.
And I can do that.
What's
And
that?
I get the goats, and you know, that's the ideal layer. Just but I'm just saying, back to nature, back to basics, and basically that's all it is. I would like to be right. I would definitely like to be directly connected with my food.
Yeah.
You know, and you can do that. You know. And I mean, I was good at raising plants and stuff like that, but all of a sudden that's not my gig. You know, but now I can go the other side. You know,
What kind of plants were you growing?
tomatoes.
Tomatoes?
Lots of tomatoes. I had a huge garden, period, and I had an acre of land out in Carmel Valley, and but most of it was for corn, for some God knows reason. What the hell are they raising that for?
Yeah.
Except corn is really good, just fresh. Just sort of walk in the rows and pull out a ear of corn. And
Chew on it? Yeah.
Oh God, it's
Delicious?
so sweet. Oh, yeah, that's. I
Those
mean,
are-
but once again, you're so close to its life, you know.
Is it?
Or a tomato just right up there, or peas, anything fresh is just like, what the hell would you ever do anything, with it other than that?
I wonder how our taste buds evolved. Because everything that we cook tastes good, and then all this raw food that we eat.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it does.
No,
It tastes.
it's
I
all
want a
amped up.
cheeseburger.
It's all
Bullshit. Yeah, I get it. It's like it tastes delicious. Like they're manipulating our taste buds.
They have to
where-
do that. They have to do that. The food naturally tastes better than anything they're gonna come up with in the kitchen.
It tastes all right.
Oh well, sure. But see,
I gag.
yeah. No, I'm just saying it's all artificially manipulated. If you figure that like we evolved with all the animals, all the plants here, and everything is like it's a relationship where we work with each other. And if a plant didn't taste good, it wouldn't survive because we wouldn't want it. If an animal didn't taste good, it would die out too. It's kind of like, because everything really is here to serve us.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a broad look at, but it's just like,
It really is.
what?
Here to play with it.
Well, but it's just like it's a synchronicity that we just work together, okay? And we are the top dogs here, so there's a certain knowingness, and this is going way out there, that plants and animals go, in order for us to stay here too, we're going to have to make sure we please the top dog.
Yeah.
And so, and I know that's kind of, but that's what it works.
That makes sense.
And so you taste the stuff, raw food, and it's just unbelievable.
I'm trying to think, is there anything that we can't eat animal-wise? Can you think of any animals that we can't eat? Like,
There's all kinds of poisonous stuff and stuff like that, and I just wonder, I think that I have my own viewpoint on all that stuff, is that as we distance ourselves more and more from our natural life, from our relationship, then all of a sudden we can't tolerate certain things, and I figured that all of a sudden, like we become the effect of the stuff that actually should be helping us.
like maybe a puffer fish, the poisonous ones.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like jalapenos for our body.
They might, who knows? There might be. It's like this. We get into all to my theories, whatever. It's just like it just seems to me that everything has a role in our survival.
Yeah.
And I just think that because we've conquered the environment rather than worked with the environment. So I think that as we start, like damaging our relationship, the more and more we damage our relationship with every other living thing here, the more and more every other living thing is going to have a detrimental effect on our lives.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can. I think they talk about karma and kismet and all that other stuff. You just can't keep fucking things over
Yeah.
and expect to walk away scot-free.
That makes sense.
That's a pun on my name.
Yeah, it really was. You snuck that in there.
Yeah, a little.
You snuck that in there.
Yeah.
I noticed it. I was like, nice one.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, but I just saying. I'm sure that's not a new concept whatsoever, but it's just
Not at all.
you can't keep messing with things and figure that there will not be consequences. So I think that like it's just that I think that everything, your body is designed to handle everything on this planet, and that's how it grew. It developed so that it wouldn't get bumped off every time it ran into maybe a pufferfish or whatever it is, But since all of a sudden we kind of we started, and it evolves with us eating natural food, because that was their design for us to grow and survive. But since then, all of a sudden, we decided to monkey with it and change it and cook it up, and the animal fries and the monkey stuff and whatever the deal is. Well, all of a sudden, all the things are all designed to go with that before it got monkeyed with. All of a sudden, it's not functioning.
Yeah.
It's not functioning, so it just kind of atrophies, and then eventually it just goes to sleep, and so that you don't have that anymore. And you're only going to get it back because it's all there, latently sitting there, waiting for the right stimulus, which is the natural food that it evolved with, that made it happen. Anyways, that's.
I didn't tell you, but people love you, man. They really dig you.
Well,
They really think you're cool.
well, that's cool. I think they're all cool too. I think we're all cool. We're all in this together.
We are.
Okay? And I don't want to
We're
get
all
into
in this.
that mumbo jumbo they're talking about all this with this COVID crap and stuff like that. But I mean, long before that ever came around, we survived to the degree that all of us survived. Okay, so you go, well, I'm doing a little bit, but I'm just saying that as a group, we can all forward each other's survival. So the guy that's down there that's begging and he's all crippled and stuff like that, he's a team member. He could be really, if he steps up, and I'm not pointing to him, but I'm saying that he could be contributing. He should be contributing, and we should be contributing to him. It should be working that way.
Synergistic.
Yeah, because that's and to the degree that someone is not involved in the game, we're that less powerful, that less able.
Made me think of get your head in the game.
Get your head out of your ass.
That too. That too.
Well, but true, if that's really what it is. Hey, look around. There's things that need to be, worked on.
Yeah, it's not about you specifically, it's about everybody else around you as well. The people, the ones you bring up. It's like with me talking to you, what you're really doing is giving value to other people, and you're not keeping it to yourself. Compared to other people who don't want to be interviewed or don't want to talk, they're essentially being greedy and not giving towards others.
Well, you can look at it that way, but it's like, one of the things that I found the more and more I am involved with this particular practice, and you say, and it's actually not a practice, it happens to be life, this is what you're supposed to be doing, then I find that I'm much more aware of who I am and my overall responsibility for survival of everything here. Okay, so and I get more and more. It just with every bite, I become that much more part of everything, and able to do something across that whole sphere. So I just figure, if people haven't gotten to that point, they just need to eat more. So I just say, you can say, irresponsible, greedy, whatever. No, they just need to eat.
Yeah.
And it's just like, everybody out there that you're having trouble with, just figure that they're nutritionally deficient. They're not firing on all cylinders. When we talk about all cylinders, we're talking about every cell in your body. Because what you want is every cell in your body just singing to be alive. And there's just like, and there's trillions of cells. So there's a lot of work there, and it's just something that one thing I was talking about earlier with fat protects your body. Well, who knows how much crap is stuck in so many cells? And you just, but once everything's clean, you're a super person.
Do you believe in vibrations?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
vibrational energy?
Oh yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I'm one of my I mean, I know that I'm an energy source.
Do you think you meet people who are on the same level as you, that you get along with?
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're on a similar wavelength, we'd say.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I noticed that, you know, like I just there's certain people that I do very well with, but just like that, you know, and certain people, I don't run into people that I don't feel good around.
Yeah, I've been noticing that lately too.
You know, I just I don't pull them in. You know, and that's and it's basically I kind of went, God, you know, like I try to look back on my existence or whatever and all the bad people that I was with, and maybe it was like, and I go, I can't think of any, but then maybe I was kind of bad then, so we're kind of mutually bad.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even notice it. I don't know, but it's just like, I just feel like I seem to be surrounded by people that I enjoy being with.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a natural thing that, you know, that would happen. Because I'm very open about who I am, what I do, and everything else like that. And so I attract or whatever people like-minded thing, you know, and other people just can't be bothered with me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm uncomfortable for other people. You know, we're so, you know.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
A lot of people were interested and they want to know what your daily routine is for food. Like, do you wake up and sun gaze, or do you wake up and then drink juice and sun gaze, and then do you have a set schedule? How do you do it?
When I wake up, the first thing I do is I pop a
Pill?
right, get me going. No,
Pop a Percocet.
no, a sugar cube size of cheese. So I put that in, and I think I mentioned that last time. You know, like, and 10 minutes later, then I'll eat food, because the cheese actually as a sponge, because the body will dump toxic material in that first 10 minutes. And I don't know where that information all came from, but I religiously adhere to it. And then after that, then it'll stop dropping toxins, so then you can eat your food and you won't be mixing and re-ingesting toxic material while some of it gets, you know, out through the digestive system. So I do that cheese, and then right after that, then I put my clay drink with my, you know, milk and stuff like that. And obviously I gotta have to change that because he says 1 second. Jesus.
To blend it?
Yeah.
I just stir my shit.
Well, that's
You blend
fine.
it?
Did you just hear what I read this thing?
But do you blend it?
Sure, I got a blender right there. I've been blending stuff.
Well, what do you notice the difference between blending it and putting it in and stirring it real quick? Because you're gonna chug it regardless. I chug mine. You
We'll
sip
find
it?
out. We went over that thing last week. I do what Aajonus says. That's what I do.
Okay.
So
I'm trying
no,
to change the game.
it does taste like a chocolate shake.
Okay,
You know.
okay.
You know, and if you chug it, I don't know what, you know. And I think one of the things that, you know, this is totally my own take on it, but the thing is, if you just chug stuff, you're bypassing all kinds of things that are set up for your digestive tract. Okay? So you just chug it, so all the things that you can do in the mouth kind of get bypassed. So, you know, like, and so everything's showing up down here in your gut or whatever, you know, and it hasn't been broken down. So, I mean, I sip my stuff, and then once again, I don't have the exact Aajonus thing, but Aajonus says sip your milk.
Yeah.
Don't be gulping it or whatever. And then my friend Chris, he says, like, and you're supposed to space it every minute. You know, so you sip it, and then a minute later you have another sip. So that's kind of what I start my day off. I'm sorry, I'm working here too. Good afternoon, Walt's Food Group. Hi, Eddie, what's up, man? Do I have anything I forgot to buy? I just have butter and some cheese. Okay, I'm actually doing an interview right now, so okay, man. Ciao.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Okay. So So then I have that, and then I walk out and go sun gaze because the sun will be out. Actually, last couple of days it's been overcast, so I haven't. But after I drink my clay milk, whatever, I go over and I sun gaze. I do that for 15. I'm supposed to do 15 minutes, but I usually do about 18 to 20 minutes. So I do that, then I come back, then I'll have a juice if I have any juice in the house.
What kind of juice? Celery?
Yeah.
Do you have the celery with lemon or just pure celery?
No, it's just whatever Randy. I every once in a while I get these things from some overflow from what Randy makes for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I have juice, which will be I think it's cilantro and parsley and celery because I used to make the juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, I put like a big heaping spoonful of coconut cream, and then a likewise amount of heavy cream, and then an egg.
In the juice?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I blend it.
You don't stir it.
I
Okay.
blend it,
Okay.
and then I just drink that. A sip here, and then a minute, and a sip here, and while I'm doing everything else, and that's pretty much what I do. And then the next thing, I might throw in a smoothie in there, but I'm actually really going more to meat, and because I'm doing coconut cream. I'm making the coconut cream here, and if I get my coconut cream consumption a little ahead of my meat consumption, I'll start to getting a little bit of headache, and so I found that actually if I have at least a pound of meat a day, no problems. So that's just actually the extra fat, because what's happening with the coconut cream, it's an incredible detoxifier, and so I got all these toxins just are flying around here. Even if they're on their way out, they still kick you as they go. so
As they go.
So
Peace out, motherfucker.
yeah, right. Yeah, we ain't going that easy. But then with all the fat from the meat,
Yeah.
it seems to settle it out. We'll say.
Cool. So you have your cheese, you have your juice with the cream and coconut cream. After that, you eat some
Then I just
cream
go.
with meat?
Well, no, I just do the meat just by itself.
You don't add a fat to it?
No. Well, it's got. Are you kidding? You see this?
Well, it's
see the
mixed,
fat
right?
in there?
Yeah, they mix it. They mix
Yeah.
it pretty good with
Yeah.
You know what the ratio is? Like 50-50, 60-40?
I'm looking at this.
Pretty fat for sure.
Yeah, well, this is pretty damn good. I said this is about 20%.
Fat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
And that's for-
It seems to do what I need.
Yeah, and that's for what, like lunchtime you'll have some meat?
No, this is for breakfast.
Fuck, for breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright,
Hey,
let's keep hearing it.
That's pretty much that's in my routine. And then
What about, yeah, keep going though. Like, what about the rest of the day?
the rest of the day I'll have more meat, and I drink. I really like milk, and I'll be chasing with milk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do, basically, he talks about having kefir with your meat. So I fit that in there. And my thing is changing all the time. You're always going for something that works better.
Yeah.
But, so I'm trying to get this meat, if I could just get a pound of meat a day, that'd be just really good. And you have to eat it all day long.
Yeah.
But I got a good start here.
That's true.
So, that's
And
pretty.
for the rest of the day, you'll just eat meat. Like, what about for dinner time? Like, whatever meat you have left over.
Ideally. And then I'll, my lube formula, which I don't even have in my pocket today, it's really tough. But,
World famous pocket lube.
yeah. I was going to go for a double dose today.
Yeah.
And I'll have that's what I'll have just before I go to bed.
And you don't eat the meat all in one sitting, like the pound, do you? You'll just eat that one. You'll just try to get that 1 pound
Yeah.
inside of you throughout the day, then,
Right.
correct? So you eat like in portions, smaller pieces.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, I used to eat a pound a day. I mean, I used to eat a pound pretty much in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't do that for me, and but just kind of nibbling on it, which is kind of a funny way to describe it.
Makes sense.
it's like the body's getting stuff all the time.
Like a cheese train, but meat train.
A what?
Cheese train, and then there's the meat train.
This is some cartoon that's going on.
No, he just talks about the cheese trains where you're eating cheese consistently throughout the day, like what you do. Like you'll be eating cheese constantly.
Okay, like the cheese train.
Yeah, it's called the cheese train.
Where did they come up with that?
Shit! I'm just parroting the message, but
Oh,
I really like
accent? What?
I really like the word cheese train.
Oh, this is good.
That's coconut cream.
I know what it is. I used to get this all the time.
I forgot you could read.
It's not bad.
Pretty good. I buy a bunch of it, then I freeze it, and then I'll take
I know.
piece by piece out.
Yeah. Well, I make it fresh every week right here.
Let them know.
Hmm?
Let them know.
Well, I'm just it's like I'm not really ready to go international on it. So,
No international shipping.
you know,
Local only.
you know, it's just very local. But I'm in the future I'll start bringing some coconut cream recipes references from Aajonus, because then I'm just totally taken on with this.
Yeah.
And what it can do for you. And so I try to sneak that in everywhere.
That makes sense.
It's definitely a solvent that works.
Anything that you have left over, like coconut cream, maybe that's old or old fucking butter or milk, whatever. Do you put anything on your skin? You're just like, oh, let me just rub this on me.
I'll tell you, this is one of the luxuries of being your own coconut cream manufacturer or whatever.
Let's hear the secrets.
So after I run it through my machine that's right behind you, then I have to clean the thing, right? So there's a whole operation that there's an auger that goes through and the cream it hits the coconut and it creams out like this. But it goes through a whole screen setup, and there's all kinds of cream on the top of the machine, on the top of this grate. So I mean, what I'm going to throw away. So I just take it like this, and first I got my heavy cream, and I got a spoon, and I just take some coconut cream and I have a heavy cream, and then clean off all the tops, but you can't get all of it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so then I just take it and rub my hands into it, and then I rub it all over my face, and all over my arms, and it's just like,
Feel good?
yeah. I mean, that's like something to look forward to every Friday night.
That's not nice.
It's just like, God, it's so warm. It's just like perfect.
Oh, yeah, it is warm too. It's not cold like this stuff.
No,
that I
it's
get.
live. I don't refrigerate my coconut cream.
No?
No.
You're a little extreme sometimes.
Why would you want to stop that process?
I'm a bitch about it. Like I gotta have my shit nice. Do you eat it when it starts going bad, when it tastes pretty like sour and grainy? Obviously, since you leave it out.
Yeah.
Do you notice a difference? Like, is there a point that you don't eat coconut cream at all when it's chilling out?
No.
Never?
No, I got
You always
some.
eat it.
Yeah, I could. Yeah. Why would you waste something like that?
Well, I had some that I left out for a couple weeks in the refrigerator, and it just didn't taste that good. So I just used it on my body.
Yeah, well, that's one thing you can do with it. Wash your hair with it. You can do all kinds of stuff. But you really want to, get the most action.
Eat it
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, you don't have to kill yourself with it, but just take a little. It's just like the further it's gone, the better it is.
Bacteria-wise.
Yeah. And we're so, our sanitized society and stuff like that, the germophobia, we've been probably denied germs for so long. We're germ starved.
We are bacteria.
Yeah, right.
Removing, thinking, pondering,
Yeah.
laughing, bacteria.
I'm sure there's I'm sure there's species out there that think that we're like, vermin.
Could be.
Yeah,
Could be for sure.
but that's so.
Anything else on your mind that you forgot, you want to say, talk about?
No, I think I think what's really important. Oh yes, I have something, and I know you could probably help me with this thing. But one of the things that I think that's really key is realize that where I am on diet or thoughts on lifestyle all comes from Aajonus. I might have expanded things, changed things there, stuff like that, but I wouldn't be anywhere near what God knows what had happened, if I hadn't found Aajonus and the material that he has. And the stuff's all so simple. It's right there in front of everybody. I mean, obviously that's the way to do it. But I would recommend everybody gets his books, and then Jim has this website, and it's We Want to, the number 2, live, and I would really recommend you get on that. And there's like an $80 initiation fee or whatever, and it allows you to access everything that he's been able to gather together on Aajonus' materials. And it's all for all the potlucks. You can sit there and listen to Aajonus talking about this or that, or the workshops that he's done, and the information there is just invaluable. And I would recommend that everybody has it. And I just and it's just something that all you need to do is just play some of that. If you're not looking for something specific, just listen to the latest potluck and what he's talking about, and it's just like you go, holy, that's exactly what I need right now. It always is, and it's just truth. And if you can just connect yourself up with that, then you're on the way.
It's actually primaldiet.net now.
I say, because I heard they just changed it. But I would just, that's what I'd recommend. Don't listen to me. Listen to Aajonus.
We'll listen to you. We love you.
Well, thank you. I enjoy this forum because I care about everybody. Because, like I said, we all have something to do with each other's survival. And I would like to be able to assist everybody to assist me. That's how it goes. Well, I'm not actually looking at that particular thing, but it sounds good.
Yeah. It's like an anime I watched.
What?
There's an anime I watched that I thought of. It's called Full Metal Alchemist. Maybe you watched it with your
with my granddaughter?
Your granddaughter. Maybe you've seen it, Full Metal Alchemist. Everybody, they do exchanges for things. But yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, it's just like, you are important. Everybody's important, and it's if I can help you be who you potentially can be, then God, of course I'd win.
Oh yeah.
So that's where we are. I got lots of deliveries to make now, so I have to sign off.
It's the internet. You're never signing off. We're gonna be on this bitch
Well,
forever.
yeah, I know. They're big brothers out there too.
Yeah, we ain't signing off anytime soon.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you. All right, folks. Let's get this party started. Oh.